Hello Sagittarius, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of February 19th through 25th. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards and use your own intuition to take it beyond just the details that I'm providing, Remember that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. Now, here we've got the Universe or World card. That's a pretty good way to start out, I think. But we'll see how it goes. We're going to do the rest of our Dove and Serpent spread. And as always, that is going to include a mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. For that, I say we use the Ancient Italian. Let's do that. This is pre-shuffled, but we're just going to do a quick toss and one card kind of randomly from the middle. And we're going to leave that right there. We're not going to look at it until the very end of the reading, so stick around until the end. And we'll see how that might, tie the reading together or give us the confirmation that we're looking for right at the end of things. Okay, so just taking a look around, it looks like we've got a couple of court cards, some majors, some water, some fire. We've got some earth, some majors, some air. It looks to be a pretty good balance of things, okay? And that's a good sign. There's nothing really standing out to me as being absent or being, kind of overdone, right? The first card that we started out with was this Universe or World card. I think that you are the type of person who has tremendous patience for people, okay? I think that in whatever you're involved in this week or this time in your life, I think it's really it's been an exercise in tolerance for you and patience. And you're learning that, things can't always happen as quickly as we would like them to happen. So I really get this feeling from you like you're just kind of not idling, but you're just kind of keeping still for now. You know what I mean? There's not a lot of things that you can do right now at the moment, so you're just having to kind of wait, right? I'm getting this vibe of waiting and of a real patience right now. I think you have some plans that are in the works. You have some, and it could be involving some of these court cards, right? It could be some partnership, some kind of group effort that you're working on. It could be maybe something at the workplace. Could be something in the family, though, as well. But I feel like there's some other players involved. And right now you've got this, just this kind of holding pattern, right? I just see that you're waiting for maybe these other people to make their move or to complete their portion of the work. But I feel like you're a very patient person. And I feel like you really, this card is kind of, this really feels like a Sagittarian card to me, even though it's not associated with Sagittarius. But I'm getting this really strong feeling that when your workday is over, you go home, you relax, you refresh, you restore yourself, you take care of yourself, and then tomorrow you go out and you do the work again. You know what I mean? So it feels to me like you really know when and how, really. You know how to utilize this downtime. Okay, so it feels to me like you do as much activity as you can. You do what's necessary. You put in the effort, and then you know when to kind of turn in for the night. You know when to go home and relax and restore yourself. Get a good night's sleep, drink a lot of water, get a little exercise, relax, enjoy yourself. In the real sense of the word refreshment, right? Refresh yourself, so that tomorrow you can go out and continue this work, right? So it feels to me, again, I've been saying that a lot because it's a strong feeling of having nothing to do, but yet you find what you need to do. Does that make any sense? I know it's a little confusing, but it's a strong feeling of this kind of idle time, this break, maybe this waiting period. But you are using it, you're maximizing this time, And I feel like you really are adept at that. I feel like that's part of your nature, is just to, no wasted moments. You know what I mean? And this isn't to say that you're always involved in this intense activity. It's like you know when to slow down. You know when to turn in for the night. You know when to kind of return home after a hard day's work and relax, because you know you're going to have to consolidate your fiery energy in order to go out the next day and do it all over again, right? So I feel like it's kind of the same thing, only in this situation it feels like you're kind of waiting for other people to finish their job, or you're waiting for someone else to come in and take care of something else before you can go out and set about your work again. Okay, so this is kind of like the holding pattern. This is, a real sense of making the most out of your downtime, right? It feels like an idling, but it's not idling in the sense of you're just like, twiddling your thumbs. You're not really doing anything. I think you're focused on the more self-care aspect of this project, the refreshment and the restoration of you and your energy so that you can continue on in this work. Okay, so this is a real patience, and it's like the opposite of anxiety. It's like you're really taking advantage of this restful period. You're using it as a rest period. When you're it feels like you're waiting around for these other people, you're making the most of it. You really are making the most of it. And what we see kind of crossing your path right along with that is the Nine of Cups. This is really about that refreshment. This is about taking care of yourself physically, mentally, emotionally. So I think during this, what seems like a waiting period, or this maybe transitional period, this holding pattern that we're in, it's really important for you to take advantage. Like I said, it feels like you are doing that, and you're taking care of yourself, you're refreshing yourself, in whatever way you do, through rest and relaxation and proper diet and just, mental relaxation. I don't know exactly what you're involved in, but again, I feel like there are other people that are in this situation with you that are contributing in some way, okay? And I feel like right now there's an intense cooperation. I feel like you really trust the people that you're with. I feel like you're building something that's directly related to your future, to your happiness. So it might be that you're putting together a business with these people, but it's something I feel a strong connection to with you. It's something that means a lot to you. It's not just a job. It's something that has a real sense of meaning and purpose for you. And I think this is where we've been consolidating some of our fiery energy, because we don't have a lot of fire in the reading today, but the fire that we do have is pretty strong and pretty meaningful, I think, in this context. So with this Nine of Cups, it is definitely a pleasurable time for you right now. I think the hard work, your part of the work has been pretty laborious. I think you've been really just wearing yourself out with this work, right? It's been very intense. And now I think that you have this break, this waiting time, this holding pattern that we're kind of in, where we're waiting for these other folks to do their part, or to bring in what they needed to bring in. We'll get to some of these court cards in a minute. But I feel like you really are taking advantage of this time. And this is a time for that self-care, refreshment, restoration of your vitality and your strength and your energy, and really taking care of yourself, right? So I feel like that is the week. The past is the Six of Wands. This is the fiery energy. This is really pretty much all the fire we have in the reading. This, I think, was your very intense work that you've done. This is like a real, fairly long, maybe for the last 6 weeks or 6 months, maybe straight, you've been just working very, very hard, days and nights, endless work, endless energy being poured into this thing, okay? With the Six of Wands, I feel a real sense of cooperation, but I feel like you've been putting in, like maybe it was your shift, or it was your task to complete, right? The phase of the work for this business or whatever we're working on. The last few months was kind of your time, and I feel like you poured all of your energy into it, and it was very intense, very exhausting, and it was something that you really loved, you really enjoyed, you felt like you were contributing, that this was going to be a success. And I think now this intense I keep wanting to say a burst of energy, but it was like a burst of energy that lasted for a few months, right? So it was really sustained. And I feel like now we're going from this fire directly to this water energy. So I think things are kind of on hold right now because we're waiting for these other people to do their part or to contribute or to, there's something with these court cards that needs to be resolved before you can get back to things. Does that make sense? So you've had all of this fiery activity, and now this week we've got waiting and we've got a focus on other things, okay? So it's like there's really nothing more that you can do in this situation. So in order to not be idle and not waste time, you're using this waiting period to take care of yourself, do what you need to do for your personal life, your personal happiness, and well-being. But now let's get to some of these court cards. Because if you look at the overhead, you're kind of just surrounded now by these court cards. And it's like you've had this fiery burst of energy, and now we're just here surrounded by the court cards, and there's nowhere for us to go. We can't go up, can't go down, can't go forward. Right? And we're not going to go back, obviously. So we've got to resolve these issues with these court cards. Now, the first one is down here beneath the surface. This is some fiery energy. I don't think it's a fire sign person. I think that this is someone involved in this work, this project, this situation that you're in. Okay. And again, I don't really know if this is work or if it's something at home. Maybe these are family members. Maybe these are coworkers. This one here is a little bit restless. It's like this person has a job to do, but they keep getting started and then they kind of quit or they get distracted, right? I think that this is a younger coworker, a younger family member, because it feels kind of like an immature energy. And it's like they maybe get really enthusiastic one day, but then they just kind of leave stuff unfinished, and then they kind of move on to something else. So this is contributing now to your kind of downtime, okay, whoever this person is. I think there's really not a lot that we can do with this person. You can try to use some of this fire energy that you had with the Six of Wands and give them some direction, give them some leadership, and kind of urge them in the right direction. And I think with the Six of Wands, you are the type of person that has a strong sense of leadership, okay? I think that you have a feeling of responsibility toward these people. Okay, maybe you're the head of the department, maybe you're the head of the project, maybe you're the head of the family, whatever the case may be. I think people are looking to you for some leadership, and maybe this person needs a little bit of this fiery leadership with the Six of Wands in order to keep them on track. I think that these people want to follow you because honestly, I think you're the one with the vision, okay? Maybe this was your idea, your plan. You've kind of taken the lead, at least in spirit. And I think maybe it's time to take the lead in practice now as well. Okay, but at least with this person, whoever this younger fiery energy is. Again, I don't think they're a fire sign. I think that's representing their bursts of activity, but then the lack of follow through. Right? And we said you had the fiery energy too. You had this burst of energy, but yours was long and enduring, and it was long lasting, right? So you were able to complete your portion of the work. It's like you've done as much as you could do, and now you need these other people to follow through with their end of things, right? And I think this fiery person, this younger figure, needs some of your guidance and some of your leadership, okay? Now, we see another court card here at the top. This is a Prince of Cups. This is someone, I think, in this situation who may be a little bit more on the emotional side of things. It feels like they have a difficulty even getting started, It feels like maybe every day they kind of have an excuse of why they're not contributing, why they're not taking care of their portion of things. I'm too tired. I don't feel good. I'm depressed, it seems like they always have some emotional or, I was going to say physical, but not exactly physical it feels like someone who's like, oh, I have a stomach ache today. I can't go to work. That sort of thing. You know, they always have some kind of excuse like that, why they can't show up, why they can't get started with their portion of things, you know. And I feel like this is a pretty big project for you, because if I'm remembering some of your past readings, we had a lot of this fiery energy that was looking for direction. You know, we were really trying to concentrate and consolidate some of your fiery ambition and enthusiasm and energy, right? And I think you did. And I think that's what the Six of Wands is. And now that the Six of Wands has happened, right? Now it's just like we've got to try to be a team player. We've got to try to secure the cooperation of everybody involved so that these things, whatever your ambitions are, can come to fruition, can be completed and see success. Okay? And it does feel, like I said, it does feel like there are a lot of other people that are involved in this. It's not just something that you're doing by yourself, you know? So we talked about this Prince of Cups, and this person, again, I think they need your fiery leadership. You know, I think they need someone to guide them. They need someone to follow, right? And I think that someone is you. I don't see anyone else in this situation that could really take that role other than you, with this Six of Wands especially. Now, the Six of Wands obviously is a doubling of the Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands is all about your strength, your confidence, your character, your integrity. Really, your strong leadership skills, right? And doubling that, it's like we're putting those expectations onto these other people too. We're expecting everyone to put their best foot forward, to take their best effort. Not everybody has to be perfect, but I think these people who are involved, they need to at least try their best, you know. And I think that's kind of the most that you can ask of these people, is just try to do the best that you can with these tasks. Again, if this is a work thing, a career thing, if it's some kind of a collective, you know, art thing, creative project, or if it's something in the home, it needs the cooperation of these people. Now, the final person, I think, that is involved here, so I think it's maybe the four of you. It could be, there could be more people, but the next person that I think is giving us some trouble is this Prince of Swords. And this, I think, is probably, maybe this is the last person that needs to complete their portion of things, okay? It could be that this fiery energy person and the watery energy person, it could be that they had these issues, but you already took control and you got them through it, right? It feels kind of like the last person on the list is going to be this air sign person. Now, the air sign person, then again, maybe they're not an air sign person, but it's that energy, that air energy. Because I think that they are, rather than accomplishing their own tasks and working on their stuff, they're busy trying to tell these other people what to do. You know, they're trying to balance this watery person, this fiery person, instead of doing their own work, right? So they're trying to manage others, even though they can't really manage themselves. Okay, and that's the air quality of this person. Trying to be the mediator, maybe between maybe the fire and the water person have some conflict. They've got some issues, some personal issues with each other. This person seems like they're trying to manage everyone, even though they're not really accomplishing their stuff, you know. And this is a problem. I think that this is the primary obstacle to all of this, is to maybe get this person, because I think that this person really has the potential to just focus on themselves and get their stuff done. These other two seem like they just need a little bit of a kick in the butt to get going, you know. But this air person seems that they can be self-sufficient. They can accomplish their stuff with maybe minimal supervision if they would just, you know, learn to kind of stop caring about everybody else and focus on their own work, right? So it seems like a pretty involved project that you have going on this week, and maybe for the past several weeks or months that you've been working on. Hopefully the path of the Serpent here can give us a little bit more insight into how this is going to progress, okay? The first thing we see is this Four of Swords. This is part of your nature that doesn't want conflict. This is the part of you that doesn't want to get involved. It doesn't want to have to micromanage people, right? Or babysit people. You don't want to babysit people, right? These people are involved here because maybe they were the best people for the job. Maybe you were just kind of stuck with these people. Maybe you didn't have a choice. But either way, this is kind of in conflict with the Six of Wands energy. This Four of Swords doesn't want to get involved. Wants to just use this time to relax and focus on your own things, maybe you're taking some personal time, right, while you're waiting for everybody else to get organized. You don't want to be the one to have to organize everybody else. Kind of like it's not really your job. You know what I mean? But I think you have the capability, you have the skills and the strength and the confidence to take charge and go above and beyond and maybe organize these people and get them going. If that's what it takes to succeed, you have it in you. But mentally, I think, and in your ego, you don't want to have to do that. It's not your job. It's not your responsibility. These are all grown adults, I'm assuming, and they're responsible for themselves. You shouldn't have to be responsible for them, okay? But this is something I think that you're in conflict with because you want to get this project completed. You want to move on to the kind of next phases of this or whatever comes after. But there is this blockage. There is this disorganization with these other people that are involved, represented by these court cards that we see here. And a lack of organization that you feel it's not your problem, not your responsibility, not your job. At the same time, you're going to have to step into that role if you want this thing to get finished. There's nobody else really that is taking the leadership role here. So again, I don't know if this is your business that you started, if this is your department, or if this is in your household. Wherever this is landing, I feel like it's up to you, And I think you've got this fiery energy to do it. It's just a matter of kind of biting the bullet and doing it, And yes, I know it's not your job. You shouldn't have to. But it feels like that's really the only way forward right now. What we have next is this Moon card. Now, this is some really strong water energy. This card is kind of related to these court cards. Right, this is kind of the relationship card. It's also the environment card. It's the kind of nature of the environment right now. It's also your greatest skill or asset right now. Okay, so in terms of your skill or asset, this is your creativity. This is your imagination. It's kind of a card that says, look, we got to think outside the box. We've got to think outside of just what is the kind of accepted, normal, standard, traditional ways and means and plans. So this is really thinking outside the box and using your imagination to solve this problem. This is also representing the problem, and I think it's beginning to look like a little bit of a nightmare. I think the more that you try to relax and take care of yourself and do these kind of personal things that you need to do during this break, because again, it's like your work is finished for now. You've got some time off. You have to keep getting involved with these people, otherwise things are never going to move forward. It's beginning to seem like a little bit of a nightmare, a little bit hopeless, a little bit just pessimistic. I can feel things really getting darker and darker and darker and darker. Okay. But through your efforts, through this fiery energy that we see with the Six of Wands, I think it all really does hinge on that. You're going to be able to push this sun right up through the horizon, over the horizon, and into that dark night, into this nightmare to illumine things. The answer will come to you on how to move forward. It's going to be that really kind of creative, out-of-the-box, imaginative idea that's going to get everybody on the same page, that's going to get everybody working on their tasks and completing their portion of things. Okay. So this really is kind of the state of things now, but then also is giving us a clue how to move forward, right? How to get out of this kind of nightmare, right? And again, this is also expressing the relationship that you have with these other cards, with these other figures, the court cards. I think that there's an inherent mistrust now that's kind of brewing between everybody, between the fire and the water person, the air person and you. I just feel like a lot of these cards, we have, you know, fire for you, we have fire down here, we have water, we've got some air. I just feel like it's not really a good mix of elements, you know. I feel like maybe it's something to where this water person and this air person are kind of forming their own little clique, and you and this other fire person are kind of, you know, you're forming a little group. It feels like these little cliques are being started, and there's just some inherent mistrust of the other team, of the other side of the room. Do you know what I mean? It's just like little groups, little alliances are forming here and there, and it's just a lot of mistrust and suspicion that's starting to take place. And I think the longer that everybody remains stuck in these modes that they're in, you know, the fiery person with their these little short bursts of energy but never getting anything done, just leaving a mess everywhere they go. This water energy that just always has an excuse why they can't get started. And then this air person who's trying to micromanage everybody else, even though their own house is in disorder. You know, I think the more everybody stays in those lanes, the more kind of treachery everybody's starting to feel, the more suspicion that's kind of, you know, it's building, right? So I think we need this this dawn, this sunrise, to illumine everything and kind of wake everybody up. And you know, it's almost like it's kind of, we're in the midnight hour. It's just like overnight now, where things get just a little crazy and things get a little weird, but pretty soon it'll be morning and everybody can just kind of wake up, have that cup of coffee and get back to work. Because I feel like things are just getting a little weird now with all of this this perceived deception and this mistrust and suspicion of everybody, and these little alliances forming. It's almost like one half of the room is kind of plotting against the other half of the room. Do you know what I mean? And it's just things get weird in the middle of the night. You know, nothing good happens at you know, 3 in the morning. The next card now is kind of a fear, worry, and concern. This is a 5 of Pentacles. I think this is something that's directly affecting your physical, you know, financial, maybe stability in the future, okay? And this is one reason why it is incumbent upon you to take charge, use your leadership skills to fix this weirdness, okay? Because it really does affect your future, your financial stability, maybe your physical well-being too. It's just like you need this to just kind of move along, stay on course, because you've got a lot riding on this. And your worry here is that you have destabilized your life, you know? And the more we're in this situation with these people here, the more it starts to feel like this nightmare, the more destabilized you feel physically. It's almost like the rug's being kind of pulled out from under you, the financial rug, right? So I think there is a lot of time and energy, yes, but also there's some money invested in this. And I think your stability does rest on the success of this project and the cooperation of this team. Again, I don't know that it's a team that you hand selected, right? I think this is just the team that's there, either in the workplace, this is who you got stuck with. If it's your family, well, you know, we can't really choose our blood family, right? So I think that this is just the reality. This is what you have to work with. And I think it's very important that you know, unfortunately, it seems like you're going to have to kind of, you know, you're going to have to leave the house again in the morning and go in and fix this, okay? As much as we want to stay in this 9 of Cups and just relax and chill and take care of yourself, have this personal time, you know, I think that we have to, at some point, if this doesn't resolve on its own, which I don't think that it will, honestly, I think you're going to have to basically, you know, put your suit back on and go back into the office, you know. But I think that's that's okay, because this is something that you, like we said at the beginning, something that you feel very strongly about. This is a real passion for you. You find a lot of purpose and meaning and connection with this project. So I'm kind of feeling like it's your own business or something like that. But there's a really strong connection with this thing. So it's okay. You're going to grumble all the way in with the Four of Swords. It's not your job. You shouldn't have to do this. But ultimately, you're doing it because it's for your future, right? And yeah, you don't want to have to babysit these people, but if that's what it takes to reach your goal, then that's what you're going to do, you know? And speaking of goals, the kind of finish line we have is this Earth energy, right? This Knight of Pentacles. So we kind of have, we have some of each court card here. We've got the water, we've got the fire, the air, now we have the earth. I think this is actually representing you. This is representing the success of the project. This is the kind of stability that we're looking for, that we feel maybe is missing or it's under threat with this Five of Pentacles. This Knight of Pentacles is really now a very satisfied energy, right? I think when you cross the finish line here, it's going to feel really good. You're going to feel the stability. You're going to feel the accomplishment, the satisfaction. You're going to learn a lot about yourself and about your powers to manifest, right? About your power to complete a project. It's like doing whatever it takes to cross the finish line, and that's going to be intensely satisfying and intensely rewarding. And this kind of is like you now, ready for the next big project, ready for the next phase of this work. This is the fiery aspect of the earth element. So you're in this success and this stability and this satisfaction, but now you've got that fiery energy again that we started with the 6. And you're ready for the next phase of this. You're ready to then activate your fiery energy again, and it's your turn to begin the next phase of the project or to begin the next segment of this race, whatever project this is that you're doing. So it has a nice ending. This finish line is going to be very satisfactory. It's not the ultimate finish line. It's not the checkered flag yet, right? And maybe it's just one leg of the race. Okay. But maybe when we get to that point, we can return to this 9 of Cups and you can have a little bit more downtime. Because I kind of feel like you're on vacation and you just keep getting these phone calls. The world is in chaos and they need you. So it's like you have to cut your vacation short to go take care of these people and get things back on track. Let's look at this confirmation card, this mystery card. I don't know what this could be. Maybe some more earth energy. Maybe some more earth energy. Maybe some water energy. Maybe we really need a sign that after this kind of conclusion, after this this first finish line, that there's going to be you can kind of go back to your vacation for a while, right? Something like that. Well, we've got the Wheel of Fortune. This is pretty good. I think that this is really an indication that, yes, everything is on its cycle. Everything is kind of, it's like you know that this is how things are going to go. You know what I mean? There's this fiery energy. There's this intense work. There is, usually some downtime, a little break, and then it's back to work. And then there's a break. It's almost like it's very seasonal almost for you. But I think that this kind of vacation season is getting cut short because of all of this chaos and mistrust and just all the mess that's going on. But it's kind of something that you do accept. And we already talked about that, how you're accepting this. You know it has to be this way, even though you're going to grumble all the way. Because it's not your job. You shouldn't have to do this. But you understand that that's how this wheel turns, right? And this is also that Jupiter energy. So this is the faith, the hope, and the trust that things are going along just as they should be, that this is the way things are meant to be, and it's going to have a wonderful ending. It's like the goal, the destination is going to be there, and it's going to be reached. But how you get there is going to take a lot of twists and turns, a lot of winding around, maybe back in a circle and then back forward again. And it's going to be a long, circuitous route. But you're getting to that destination. You're reaching the goal. But the journey there might be a little crazy, might get a little weird, right? But I think that's good. I think that you maintain your hope and your trust. The trust, I think, is the big one. Not trust in these other people, because these people, I don't know. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, trust in the kind of the self-made destiny, the destiny that you're creating. So I think this is a really interesting time in your life right now. I do hope that after we solve this problem with these court cards here, that you can get back to this vacation, this rest, this self-care, right? Because I think you're going to need that in order to start the next leg of the journey, the next phase of things that comes after that Knight of Pentacles, right? Anyway, we're going to check the extended. If you want to stick around, click on the link that's right up here, and you can have access to all of the extended readings for all signs, weeklies, and monthlies. This was your weekly tarot reading for February 19th through 25th on Dove and Serpent Tarot.